Be respectful of your time because I'm competing with an ocean and a pool and beverages and all sorts of things. So we'll dive in now. And first part of it, I'm just going to show a couple slides, an intro, and then I want to do a demo, and we'll see if Wi-Fi holds up, because I want to do a real-time thing where you guys can see it, ask questions, we can drive it together, and see if it's something that might make sense for you guys to use. So for those who thought I was going to be screening a top secret Look Who's Talking with a creepy baby and John Travolta, who's also creepy, we're not doing that. We're just going to be talking about this Tawk tool, which we found on a complete whim. Google search, and we came across it. But the other thing to look at, evaluations, how am I driving? Let me know. Let the team know here at NAGW. It's always good to get feedback from everyone, so definitely make that happen. So actually, I'm going to do the terrible thing of going back real quick. I forgot to say who I am. Greg Turnbull, Larimer County, Colorado. So I'm the webmaster there. Been there for 3 years. Have a team of currently 2. Al is here and Jim's in another room somewhere learning something impressive. And now we'll slide back through the next couple slides. Sorry, no movie. How am I driving? And here we go. LinkedIn and logos. This is kind of where I was before I was here. So I started that checker bagger job out of Albertsons when I was a 15-year-old, Blockbuster during college, then into AOL. So I heard that "Thank you for calling America Online" over and over and over again. So that's part of my DNA. Worked for Motorola for a little while, and then moved to university, was a developer, and then ended up being lead web developer for a big research institute. The picture is very small right there, but it's the Biodesign Institute at ASU. And finally, about 3 years ago, made the move north from Arizona to Colorado, and took on the job as webmaster there. We just relaunched the website. That was fun. And at the same time, we had a request from the motor vehicle department to come take a look. They wanted to do some chat, and there was a lot of options, and they were unsure on how to do it. Real quick, a little bit about Larimer County. We're at the very north part of Colorado. There's a picture of me, the post/webmaster, carrying all my parcels. This is why I made the move. I mean, it was a pretty good sell. My wife grew up in Colorado, and living in 120-degree heat in the summers so many times in a row, we realized it was an imperative to pack everything as fast as we could and move before the next summer hit, so we did that. And I have a lot of children, so this is kind of what I do the minute I step away from the office. So we got 6 kiddos. My wife's there at the top, acting like a lunatic. I'm down at the bottom, acting like one, and all the kids are they just bring the rest of the lunatic with them. So a lot of kids. So the main goal, what we're here to talk about, is chat on the cheap. Because when you build these things, it's always nice to try something out and not have to buy something for $15,000, $20,000, sign a year-long contract, especially when you don't know if it's going to be engaged with your user base, or if the team that's going to be supporting that, if they like it, if they want to use it. So this was a really nice tool, especially since it's free, to jump in and try it out. So real quickly, where was chat, talking about AOL. This is how people were introduced to the idea of chatting, immediate response back and forth in small bites of information. It's not email. It's like, hey, just send me whatever you're thinking about right now, back and forth. And it was person to person back then. Eventually it became this group thing, and then pretty soon you had chat everywhere. I mean, I think social media says you should chat here. No, you should chat here. Facebook, LinkedIn. And then you get this now. You go to any website and you have this thing pop up, I want to chat with you too. And that's the worst thing you see on a website. You run and hide from it. So there's definitely some do not do's involved in chat. You can click a button and turn that on in Tawk, the tool I'm talking about, but don't if you guys try it. And the next reason is, why do we do it? Well, Motor V, or vehicle licensing, or DMV, is notoriously a place that no one wants to be. And our clerk and recorder realizes that, so they've come up with a lot of different ways to engage with people where they don't have to come park in a seat or take a number. So this was just one more way for them to engage with the customers on the site in real time as they're browsing, and not popping up and getting in front of the content that they want to get to. So I don't know if you can read that, but I'll leave it up for just a second as I take a quick drink. So overview of the tool. Oh, that's a great looking. There may be a couple of those now that I'm seeing that one. Luckily not a lot of slides though. So Tawk is its free messaging app. This is right from their website. It lets you monitor and chat with your visitors on the website or mobile apps. They have a lot of clients, so they have built-in clients for the Mac or for a Windows system. They have them on the phone, so you can step away and still get notified when people are on your site. You can watch those individuals. Supervisors can kind of monitor and be engaged with the different teams. And they have this specifically on their site. You never have to pay, and I've been in touch back and forth with them, like I'm really scared about getting engaged with a tool that's free. But they sell to much bigger Fortune 500, and their goal is to become their help desk for off hours. So what they do is they build a really nice technology, and then they staff the back end. So the way they do it, they say, hey, here, you can have it for free, and then we'll get your knowledge base, and we'll staff the back end for 24/7 support. And that's how they make their money. And then you can add little add-ons, take off branding. They actually have video now, so you can click to engage with voice or video. If you're in a chat and we're like, hey, we're stuck, we need to talk in person, you can just click a button. Or if you're doing an interview and you have to do face-to-face. So there's a lot of cool tools that they're releasing or have recently released. So, and I just gave a quick list of some of the things that they do. There's no limits on the number of agents. It is just a piece of JavaScript, just like Google, that you put into your site. And then once it's there, it's available when someone's signed on. So if none of your texts are logged in, then that pop-up never happens. You can also set start and stop times. So till 5 one day, till noon the next. So you can have agents, talking back and forth in one area of the site while they're providing support. And then canned response, some of the really nice features here, but just leave that up. They probably change it all the time, so this is last night. They probably added 2 or 3, maybe moved them around a little bit. So that was my slides. That's what I wanted to do, is just give you a real quick high-level overview. My next part I was going to do is just bring up the website. And we'll actually, all right, that was scary for a second. Let me close you. And here's the dashboard. So when you log in, you create credentials. You provided this dashboard that tells you what's going on the site. And I'm going to refresh mine because it might have been sitting there for a little while. Oh, looks about right. So there's a team of 2 right now, mostly one person, that's vehicle licensing specific. They're at the computer, and they're also answering phones. And that's what's great about it. You can have that technician sit there and monitor like 2 or 3 chats, do back and forth. People are a little more forgiving with the chat window than they are when you're sitting on the phone with them saying, hold please, and then, because then they're engaged doing this for however long. So I can sit here and say I'm either online or away. I can accept chats from different departments. So it's broken up that at any point in time I can create a chat specific for a certain group or department. Take that piece of JavaScript, put it on a website or a footer. It'll only show up on their page. Again, when someone's logged in or not logged in, it's based on that. So what I wanted to do is we're going to create one, and I'll put it up on the page, and we'll see if it works. And hopefully that part's good. I can monitor. Doesn't look like there's any current visitors on those sites right now. There's no current active chat, so that's no fun, but we'll find some, or we'll create some. And then there's reporting. I'll show you the dashboard real quick as well, because these are always nice. And again, this is just the pilot. This is just us kicking the tires on it for a little while and having one person in there and seeing if it makes sense. So we can go through and see visits, change the time frame to see, go back and forth there. Here's some of the add-ons that you can do. I'll just see that. Remove the branding, hire those live agents for off-peak hours, do the video and voice. And all these are, $1 an hour to hire an off-hour person to be there to answer just basic questions. And then the whole translation bit. That might not apply to us as counties, cities, government, but it may. And again, the price is right for if you don't need any of those things. You can just use the tool. So I'm here in the administration. Right now I'm not going to mess with any of those teams. But we're going to add a new one. We're just going to call it Agua Test. And there it is. There's the code that we grabbed, or we can link right to it. There's only myself in there, which makes sense for right now. I can invite somebody. I can invite Al back there. Maybe pay him $1 an hour to sit on here with me. We give it a name. Talk test. I'll try and talk while I'm doing this so I'm not that quiet mic guy. We'll give it a different appearance. We can play around with colors. Yeah, we'll just, let's do 8080. And there it is. We can show or hide that little "we are here" thing. It has a really nice mobile. So that chat, it works on the mobile phone already. It shows that little bubble when you're online and you're on the mobile page. Down here, rounded corners, the mobile widget, that's the one we're going to do. Show the bubble yes or no. That bubble looks like that. They have some pretty outrageous ones to pick from. Let me get back up to the bubble. So you can go to town. You can also upload your own. And none of this is blocked out. They're not like trying to feature dive you. And the minute you say, I really want our colors and I want it on this website, and then they hand you the real bill, it's all part of the package. So from what we have seen, and of course if you log in and find something different, let us know, but we'll just do something like that. Let's save. And there's no add-ons I'm going to do right now. Triggers, these are the ones where it says when they hit the site, pop up and surprise them like it's trick or treat, but don't do that. So we tell them not to, basically. You keep a ban list if someone's abusing the system. If they're harassing your staff, you can ban that IP, ban that MAC address so they're not. The shortcuts, that's where you can import from CSV, but it's really nice if I say, let's see, what's a good shortcut? Welcome, let's just call it SD. And we'll say, welcome to San Diego. Okay. All right, so do that. So there's that /SD shortcut. That could include links and pictures, or I'm not sure about pictures, but it can include links and a detailed list so that your staff always has those readily available. They don't have to remember certain things or follow suit with policy. They can have things ready to go for them. You can add departments. You can do mail. You can work with the mail notifications. You can automatically send transcripts to individuals, yourself, the person that started the chat, or a supervisor. There's the billing. You've not purchased any add-ons, so we're just going to keep moving ahead. Agent alerts. You can change how it's alerted, and it's crazy loud, so you can mess with how you get alerted. But that's it for now. I'm not going to mess with too much. Oh, here's the scheduling. You can block out certain times of day. You can set up specific operating cities so they know. Like if I turn it on, it's going to say where are we located. Oh, maybe I should do that. Oh, not San Francisco. So, and then you can play around with this. but I'm going to leave that off for right now. But you can do it based on your locality, set start times, end times, or just say when somebody's logged in, that's when you see the window. All right, domain restrictions, so people can't steal your code, go throw it up on another site, and then all of a sudden you're chatting for somebody else. That would be bad. So I think we're good for right now, just enough to try it out. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure that I don't have any saves or ads. I think that's it. So then I'm gonna jump over to our test website. Don't do this in production. So here's the page I created, just a Drupal site. We have it to where we can drop a bit of code in a certain spot. We call it web embed. I'll just hit save. Yeah, sorry, I've got a couple other tools up here. Okay, so there it is. So if you go to this site right now, and it's not the prettiest URL, but it'd be great if you guys could, so we can play around and we'll see how many people can try it out. Let me get that out of the way. Like that. Let me make it really, oh, it doesn't make the zoom big. But it's test-larimer.pantheon site. Oh yeah, there must be a trigger. That's not what we want. Go turn it off. .io/NAGW. Oh, someone's, all right, I'm coming. You guys can't hear it. That's it. So they definitely hear that. So click here, I say join, and I don't know who's on. Okay, join that one. All right, there we go. We'll test it out. All right. That's good for right now, for the demo at least. Okay. Alan, stop. Hi, this is Tawk. Yeah. So howdy. Hello. Buenos tardes. Okay. So that's what it looks like. It can happen here. It can happen in the app. We got the app back here. It's loading. So I see all those chats. That was the app. It came up. I was already logged in, so it sees everything there. I can whisper to a coworker and say, "This person's crazy. Help me." You know, safe word. I'm not sure, but you can do a lot, and we can monitor. So here's the new message. Like I said, that at San Diego, you just do a /. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's say, like there, you get a bunch of chats in, and you want to just say, okay, enough. I got to deal with it.
Well, you don't have to. You can turn your ringer off. And the other thing is, on the flip side, when they're trying to chat with you, it comes up with a message and says, "Hey, we're going to meet with you." So let me turn my ringer off. No notifications. That I need to figure out how to do because I haven't done that yet. It doesn't. No. It totally, yeah. So here, the way we have it, and especially with that one person, and they get hit in the morning really hard, and they get hit in the afternoon when people are before work and after work. So they'll get all these messages that come in, and it lets them know, hey, we're waiting, but it's just like a phone board. You know, you got your phones that are lit up. So they can turn the notifications on, and I wish I knew how to do it, but they do. They turn the notifications on when they see them coming in, and then they can silence them while they're working. Say 3 is their max. They can also put a limit on the number of chats. But for the most part, we haven't got hit with that yet. We haven't been blessed with having 25 people hit us all at once with the one person. But you can do it. And what will happen is they get a little prompt, and I won't answer back. Did one more person really want to try it? But I kind of shied away. I could do it with my phone maybe, if I had my phone. But we'll let that one go, and I won't answer it. I'll just turn off the speaker because I don't know how to do. But the way it works, I'll tell you, there it is. All right, I'm going to ignore that one, and we'll let that go. Ignore the chat. But what will usually happen is a message will prompt up right away when you send it. It'll say, hey, thank you for chatting with us. At the moment, we're working with other people or working with other customers. Just hold the line. And it sits there in this state for the moment. And we're waiting. That's kind of the incoming. So if you have a staff of 3 or if it's just yourself, you can kind of monitor it. But that does bring up a good point that you can limit those, because if you open the doors to something like this and not know that it's going to be a really great tool and everyone's going to dive on it, you're going to kill somebody. You're going to have 2 or 3 people that are getting 100 chats and they're going to say, throw their computer, and that's where those little shortcuts come in really handy, because we look at the stats and a lot of the questions, the content that they're looking for is on the page that they're on, and they want to talk to somebody. So they see that little chat and they're like, hey, what's the cost of registration for a vehicle? And we have yay. So you can go back and forth between each tech, and when you're done, you can end the call, and then it closes it out. No more love for me. Sadness. All right, so, and I just ended your call. That's even better. Oh, no, you're still there. Sadness. Oh, I don't have a... all sorts of fun things. Yep. Well, it's using some, that was part of the presentation. There is a standard that they use. They're not using anything like Font Awesome or anything like that. There is some standard that they use. I don't know if you can change it, but you can't even look up happy. How about this happy child here? Sadness. But you can use emoticons. I'm not sure how often you will, but they're there. The customers can use them. The big thing for us was the ability to share files in real time, to share content details. It's all secure, so there's secure shell, there's encryption, it's back and forth. There's so many sad people in here now. But as you close things out, you can close them, the window closes down after everyone's said and done, and then we can jump back over here to the monitoring. We can see the ones that were just on. Agua Test, so here's the ones that we had specifically. We can filter, because we have other entities, it could be other sites as well, but I just have Agua Test up and running. I can go back in time. Oh, that's the page that you were on. So it keeps track, it knows exactly the page that people were on when they engage in a chat, so that if you do open this up on an entire department, that usually that'll be a good indicator of some of the information that they're looking for. So here's the transcript of what happened in that page. I don't think I have any active chats running. And then there's just the messaging that can go back and forth. The reporting tools are really slick. There's, trying to think, chat volume. It may not show much. Oh, because I'm on the wrong thing. If we go to the Agua Test, we'll see we had a huge uptick in our chats right there. We didn't have any missed chats yet. Average chat duration. Some of the things. You can also integrate. They have a ticketing system that just comes bundled with it. Most people wouldn't use that because you have something already. But if you wanted to, if you're engaging with the citizens for the first time, you could just package and use this ticketing system. Especially if there's tricky things that you can't answer right away, you could maybe open a ticket and work on those tickets. And then you can go back to the add-on. We can decide we really don't want that look and feel anymore. We can make all the changes there. Yeah, no, that's the best. So when you run a pilot like this, you definitely have to find a champion, especially in that department. Also, the management staff within that department is a really important thing. They loved it, and it was easy for them to transition into it. But you're going to find a whole group of people that don't want to think about using this. They like the current system. For the techs that we brought online, there's one specific that really loves it, because for her, she says it saves her a ton of time. You know, she has these chat windows that come running in, and instead of a phone call or an in-person, we also have things like book a time where you can go online and schedule time with the motor vehicles department, where you walk in and you grab your ticket and it says walk directly to get your stuff taken care of if you schedule it out. But with this, it's one of those things that there's a lot of questions that come up and you can't find the information. It may be something that normally people are going to make a phone call about. They're on the page, they're already looking, or they're already engaged with your content. This is where you can kind of help guide them, or you can get them the files they need, or you can talk specifically about a case. Most of the stuff we have is like, hey, I'm trying to get registration, I can't find the answer, and it's usually, we can usually help them real quickly here. So, yes?
Is there a feature come on your phone and you start chatting and you realize that you're not the person who would be answering that question and
Yeah.
forward to somebody else?
Yes. So that whole whisper feature that's here, right here, I can whisper or talk to other people. So if there was another tech online, I could choose that tech and say, hey, you're the person for this. And that they would come right into the same chat window. So then they can answer it, and all that back and forth, it's all kept in one record, so that later on you can kind of see things go back and forth. So, but in a way, this is what I wanted to show, and just get your questions, kick the tires, try it out. If you guys have any questions for me as you're testing it out, I'll do my best to answer, because like I said, we've been doing this for about 6 months, and people are using it. It's real time. They just wrote about it. It was the first group in Colorado to try it, first vehicle licensing group to try it in Colorado. So they wrote a little article on it. It's like 550 chats, which is not a lot, but that's 550 phone calls, or, you know, and that number can go up. It's just one of the other things that people are becoming more used to mobile, used to engaging with the chat, used to, you know, getting their answers on the website. And it's just one more method to do that. And the price is right to try it out. So it's one of those things. Yes?
Maybe less.
Oh, Alan.
Maybe less phone calls, but it might also be less people in line.
Right.
They found another way to answer.
Yeah, if you want, what's nice about this is it gives more of a human aspect to it rather than it just being an unknown. You can have pictures of your people in the chat. You can add pictures that's the real time, like, hey, this is Peggy or Patty, and they're answering the chat. And you're talking with them, and Human Services, who's coming online with this in our county as well, it gives them the ability to do those interviews in real time in a secure environment, so they can go online. They've scheduled something, they can say, I'm here, that, you know, pop up a video, and it's all built within the same system. So you can engage, there's a lot of different ways to engage with it. So, sorry. Right now, it's an immense deal before you ever turn something like this on to work with that department. Because they're the one that came up and said, hey, we really want this chat tool. We would never push this out on people and say, you need to do this because it's cool. You need to have a staff that has a desire to try it and see if it works and if it takes. So that team, the motor vehicle team, they already have a group of people answering phones. That same group of people is answering emails that come in. And their goal, they're away from the front office. They're not the ones that take the ticket number. And for them, this is a great tool to bring into the mix because it siphons off quite a bit of those emails or those phone calls. So you have to absolutely, I think 80% of it is probably having the right team to do something like this. And then make it, you know, fine-tuning it to make sure that it works. So. But in reality, that's all I had today. So I don't mind us leaving early. You know, we kicked the tires, we looked at it, and I'm definitely available if you guys want to come up and take a look at it, or if you have specific questions, or we can chat the questions back and forth and everyone can watch, whatever you guys want to do. I want to leave it open for you guys.
Has there been anything that you just hate about it so far?
Well, for me, if you don't forget to turn off that you're the guy online and you get random chats, all of a sudden you become the person. You feel like you're that person that's like, you answer the phone and it was the wrong time to answer the phone and you're running around the house trying to find the person, or or find keys or do something, that you can have that feeling really quickly if you accidentally keep certain things. So a lot of it is just getting good habits with using the tool. But that happened to me this morning because I was, oh, hey, I'm going to fine tune this. And all of a sudden I started answering 2 tickets for motor vehicles because I was the guy that turned on the switch 5 minutes before she did. And all of a sudden they came in and I'm like, I could just leave these, but I feel really bad. So I'm going to go. So then I'm looking up stuff on the website or I'm emailing people to try and find the answer. But it showed me that people were using it and they're using it right away.
Is there any concern from a legal aspect and HIPAA data or data practices?
Yeah, as far as, you're kind of in the same boat as contact forms for your website. If you're doing it over a secure platform, if everything's encrypted, that's where you're guiding. Now, they store content on their site. You see the reporting, you see all that. So the information, we're not looking, you definitely would want to look at, like if it was health data. If someone was like, here's my test results, let me just fire those over to you, probably wouldn't work. And in reality, I haven't even reached out to them to say, hey, do you guys meet HIPAA guidelines or FedRAMP or things like that? But for us, for this specific need, for this niche, I think it's not a bad deal. The back and forth has worked really great. The people that have used it, the 2 techs, they really like the tool. But like I said, don't put yourself in the wake up, be the first person on, or you get all the calls. Yeah. So let's see what we have. I think tickets all come in. So let me join this talk right here. Oh, conversation, my status is invisible. I should probably log back in. So I'm coming online. I'm going to join this talk call. I'm going to say I'm back. And let's say I can't figure it out. Let's see, create a ticket. So from right here, I can copy the transcript and email it to somebody. I can print it. Has pretty nice, I could add notes to the ticket after, or the chat after I'm done. But I could also say, this is way too hard, or something's really broken, and I need to get this to somebody. So here it just creates a ticket. So that recipient name, it just grabs it right from the chat. The email address, again, if you grab them and you put them in ahead of time, that would be there, but then you probably want to get some information so they get feedback as this ticket moves through. So I'll just do Master Al. And then you assign it to whatever tech, and right now I'm the only one assigned to that specific department. And then you can say, has basic priority. It is a rudimentary ticket system, but for people that don't have one, it might be a way to start to engage with that. To have some way to track really important issues that you're like, hey, we can't just like turn off this chat and throw it away and forget about it. It's something that's impacting a lot of people, or this certain person specifically, and we want to track it in a ticket. You could do that. So we create a ticket. I've successfully created ticket number 1 because we've never used ticketing before. So let's go up here. Let's go to our dashboards, our history. Let's see. You're sending me on a search because I don't have information on ticketings yet, because we've never had to do it. Let's see, monitoring, served, active chats, messaging, tickets. Let's see, Agua Test. That looks like a ticket. Here's the ticket. I can go see the chat transcript that created the ticket. We have a status for the ticket, pending close. We've got that priority. It's assigned to me. I can tag certain things, assign notes to it. So it's really basic, but again, I guess it's a way to capture an issue outside of the sea of chats that might come in, and then people could see it. Oh yeah, people still, like if I go up here and I turn off my invisible, oh, I have active conversations. I should probably go tell that poor person that I'm not going to talk to them anymore. So then I went to Invisible. You can say which departments I support chats for. There's a lot of permissions involved. I'm an admin, so you see everything, but it's much more easier for those techs. They only see the things that they have access to. I can turn off my desktop notifications, turn off my sound notifications. I can manage sounds, make it louder than you already heard or not. But yeah, so the ticketing's still here. I have access to it. It doesn't shut any of the ticketing down. But it seems to me the way that tickets are created are from chats. So it's an engagement that takes place, and then you generate a ticket from a chat that came through. So. Oh yeah, just send them a Google search. Send them that little link that says, when you send it to them, they click it, and then it opens up Google and it starts typing for them. It says you should have searched Google. You could. We do push search off. Not as we definitely. If someone writes, if they go all the way to call us or email us, I know. But and then we're like, hey.
You can attach stuff, like we have people want a new utility application or something.
Absolutely.
You can attach documents or.
Yep, and what's, you can attach it right here, or you can can up that nice little like blurb and have it links to it right built into the blurb, and then you say, oh, / utility document, and then it'll send them this whole block, and then they're on their way. But, so. Anything else? It's all stored with them, so it's all in the cloud. Yeah, cloud hosted. They have an API. You can access the data to bring it in if you wanted to do some local digging or local reporting. From what we've seen for this type of tool, you can kind of generate those reports on the fly. You can kind of print out specific chats if you're, everyone's talking about a specific one. But yeah, it is all stored off-site. So that's good and bad. You have no control, but you can turn this thing on in just a matter of minutes. Bring somebody online, have them try it out. If it makes no sense, turn it off and then never do it again. But it does give you the freedom to try it out. So, if there are no other questions, there's a beach that's really close by, and there's a pool, and there's cold drinks. And I heard there's a decent amount of those later on tonight in the last presentation I was part of. So, thanks for attending, you guys, and we'll see you around. Cool.